All right, listen. I got a really dumb thing that I just have to get off of my chest because I this has been on my chest for like a decade, and it really just feels silly to even talk about this because I know that people are dying and going to hell every day, and that probably nothing on this earth is even really happening or that's being presented to us. But as it is being presented to us, I'm just really, really perturbed. And y'all got me caring about people. Y'all got me caring about rich people who don't, because of the way that y'all are acting. And I won't condemn people. I won't just say y'all so that you watching this video and you're just like, who, me? But I just what I've been watching, it's really more of just the human behavior, my reaction to the human behavior to what is being presented more than the information itself. And I think that's really what we all respond to whenever we talk about pop culture things and you know, it may not even be real, but even in its hypothetical, like this is what y'all are choosing to do about it. So I just got to get it. Like maybe if I just say it, I'm probably not even going to post this, but maybe if I just say it, it will go away and I will stop like ruminating about it in my brain because I can't. Like, I just have to say that I am Team Justin Timberlake, okay? Which is crazy because uh, when Justin Timberlake came out solo, I was Team not Justin Timberlake. And part of that was I don't know, that's part of my personality. Like I'm not like super mega in that like go the other way of pop culture. Like I get it. I'm when it was boy band time, I was like, let the boy bands do what they want. I wasn't like, this is beneath all of us. But I think what I was responding to in hindsight was, when he first hit and Britney was out and everybody was out, I think there was like an oversaturation that I just was like, I cannot do this with these people. And I was very I was very annoying to other people. I apologize to anybody who knows me and watches this because I was very annoying about my distaste. And now I hate to be the contrarian again. I hate to be the contrarian again. But I'm just saddened. I'm saddened by this sort of arbitrary uh, tearing down of this individual, this public flogging of this particular individual. I'm like, man, especially in light of like all of these abusers that I'm not seeing half of the. I'm just like, okay, I know that there was a memoir that came out and there was some stuff about like, some embarrassing high school age stories. I mean, does that okay? So he did some embarrassing stuff in his 20s. Got it. Okay, did we find the big child porn catalog that he kept? Oh, he doesn't have that because he's not that other guy that y'all still try to say he's the greatest songwriter of all time or something. I don't know. You're still trying to put accolades on the man. Hold on. All right. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So yeah, maybe I should just let me start from what I'm thinking in my brain because part of this is that everybody's memory is so short because the internet came along, and uh, I particularly am one of these people one of these, uh, if you ever have a documentary on a certain particular time period in life, you need to call me because I'm going to be, I'm the archivist of, not necessarily, I might not remember as much as somebody else, but I got a pretty good memory and I remember what everybody was feeling at the time. I remember the context of the time. And not everybody, everybody just kind of remembers, you know, what they were doing. They remember their own life. And then if something happened, uh, kind of in the zeitgeist at the time, they remember, whatever. But I remember what y'all said. I remember how y'all was moving. I remember, how things changed because of the perception and all. I remember all that stuff. And this all started because of that freaking Super Bowl. I can't believe I'm having to have a conversation about this, but part of this is not having any friends who care about this stuff. So I'm just forced to go over it in my brain by myself all the time. That freaking Super Bowl halftime show with him and Janet. Now, I don't think people at large understand that NSYNC opened for Janet Jackson, okay? These are not just some people that were thrown together backstage and forced to do a thing and then it just whatever. And more than likely, they probably planned this together. Like, I don't understand. To this day, I don't understand the mutual silence on the matter. Maybe they are just rich celebrity people who have more important things to do and they don't realize how much the poor people are ruminating over these events and what it's doing. So they picked the wrong thing to be mum about. But here's what I remember about this whole thing. The first halftime show, what was it? I know about, it had to be like '04 or something because I was, hold on. Yeah, because I was in college. I remember the dorm that I was in that indicates that I was a senior. Okay. So that was 2004. So listen, first of all, as surprising as it was when it happened, nobody was shocked. Okay. It's not like it was 1968. Even if it was it just was not that shocking. I don't know why the subsequent reaction to it was so over the top. In fact, I think that it was all probably, back then things got very overblown. Again, internet wasn't big, YouTube wasn't around yet. A lot of people say that this whole event basically is what launched YouTube. Okay, and um, so the media had to make their own dramatical, theatrical things happen. So it was always like, oh, did you see the thing that happened? Like they had to drum it all up. And so this was one of those things that they drummed up. And I remember sitting there and being like, yeah, y'all don't have your finger on the pulse on this one. It's not that big of a deal. But still, when you do that, there are going to be some that are going to go along with that. But I was just like, why are they? I was confused. I wasn't even like, okay, I'll bite. What, like, this is fun. It was just like, what are y'all doing? This is not, no one cares. No one actually cared. Now, granted, I'm sure there was a lot of, people trying to see the boob in real time. Okay, I get that. So they kept talking about it. I get it. And then people had clips and they had recorded it and then they were uploading it. Okay, whatever. I get that. People are pervs. I get that. But as far as it being like, because I think what happened after that is like Janet got fined and the band from MTV, like that whole thing was like insane. And again, I don't know why more people didn't go like, hey, that's insane. Nobody's asking for that. Because usually at the public shows a distaste. They kind of backtrack. I don't know what happened with that. Who cares who apologized and when? The idea that 2004 Justin Timberlake is going to have any sway over that situation and can sort of like sway things for Janet and get some pull, like that is embarrassing. That is what people are try to say about this thing in retrospect, that he could have spoken up for Janet. Why would 2004 boy band guy with like a single album out be able to do anything about Michael Jackson's actual sister, who's like not even putting stuff out anymore, really, not really, because she's came out in the 80s. What is the So I feel like the retrospect is written by 20-year-olds who were 4 at the time. I'm like, do you even know what the context was? Like, it's not like he's curbed her career. This was her coming back doing like a retrospective, like just doing veteran stuff for the new people coming up. That wasn't her, like her career being thwarted. She's Michael Jackson's sister. There's no such thing as that. And she's also Janet Jackson. Like, it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, so I see people doing these articles about this thing that happened in 2004 and how it started this bad thing for him, which was true, it did. And you thought it was going to die down. You thought, and it really did die down. But you know, the black folks that, you know, were in high school when Control came out, they started the grumbles. And the grumbles started from the ground and rose through the generations. Like, I didn't even know that it was that the black people were pressed about it at all until like a couple of years later. And I was hanging out with these people these black folks we're not friends anymore. Surprise, surprise. But it wasn't over this, but you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like, if any black friend that I made during the Obama years was gone, okay? Let's just say that. So we were sitting around, we were watching an award show or whatever, and it was like, somebody was like, yeah, no, I don't, you know, ever since that Super Bowl, like, you know, he did that to my girl Janet Jackson. I'm like, he did what to who? And I just remember this like dread coming over me, and I was like, oh no, because I knew it. I knew that this bitter, thorny vine was going to grow into a big old, huge, life-choking Venus flytrap monster and start sucking the life out of stuff. I just knew it. I was like, if that, like, as soon as I caught wind that was happening, I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. And at the time, and maybe still now, it's very much split. Like, this isn't a consensus thing. This is super bitter people who like to be bitter about things that don't matter. And a lot of times I can get in on a lot of that stuff, but the context has to make sense. The context makes no sense for us to you know, blame Justin Timberlake for some nonsense that Janet probably put him up to. And here's the other thing that I don't understand. Like, why are we acting like Janet, listen, Janet Jackson has been putting her boobs in my face since I was like 9 years old. Why are we pretending like she never wants to do that? And that this malfunction, first of all, it wasn't malfunction. Like, are you serious? You really think that was a malfunction? First of all, everything went off without a hitch. Everything went off without a hitch. Like, let's just stop. But then the next day, the backlash, which again was weird. I was like, y'all do this stuff all day long about everything. This backlash about, oh my gosh, and children are watching and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And you expected it to die down, but then they just kept fanning the flames. And then it was like, well, there needs to be consequences. If absolutely no consequences whatsoever came down after that, it would have been just a regular day. They would do what they always tell everybody to do, which is change the channel, watch something else, you know, get over it. Your children have seen worse. They do that about everything. Nobody would have batted an eye if they did that exact same thing. If parents started boycotting the freaking Super Bowl, nobody would have did anything. So it was really, it stuck out not only that it was weird, that some kind of discipline hammer came down. To me, it smacks of something that was, the whole thing was just manufactured and it just got like really weird and out of hand. And then it ended up where Janet got some discipline for no reason. Because it's like she didn't seem to be mad enough about it. It just seemed like fake. It was like she wasn't like, yo, I worked hard my entire career. You're gonna ban my videos on TV. She didn't say anything about it. She just was like, well, let's just. It is what it is, and it's just like, okay. So it just saddens me that I even have to like talk about something this trivial. But it literally is making people crazy. And it's just annoying because obviously I don't know Justin Timberlake's life, but I know that he's a genuinely like one of the talents that have come out in the last 25 years. Genuinely talented person. And I've watched a narrative that was thin to begin with grow with such monumental, and here's what happens. When the black people start feeling a way about something, then the rest of the country is like, do we not like it either? Like now everybody is deciding what side that they also need to be on. So if it gets loud enough, if it gets harsh enough, if it gets, if it gets bad enough, people will start being like, well, I don't want to be, nobody wants to be on the bad side of the black people culturally. Nobody wants that type of heat. So that's why I felt the dread, because I'm just like, y'all done set your sights on somebody, some other poor soul. And now we got to pretend like we don't like their stuff. We got to erase their memory. We got to just not let somebody be great because you got some weird allegiance to some lady who don't care about y'all and has been, like, what are we doing? So, but it's almost like people can tell that it's baseless because they gotta rely on other people calling him out. You can't just because he says nothing ever, he just kind of lives his life, which is kind of a good strategy, but kind of not, because it can kind of make you look guilty sometimes. It can kind of tarnish something that doesn't need to be tarnished. But he was just. It was low enough that he didn't really need to say anything about it. He didn't need to address it. It was just like something happening. Then about 2014, the tables turned. And it was very sad. And I remember that happening too. I mean, I was about to be sort of out of the loop at that point. I was like, I don't know, 30 some years old. Now I'm 40, I'm all the way out of the loop. The only reason why I'm talking about it now is because, retroactively, this all occurred while I was in the loop, so I can talk about it. But I'm out of the loop now. But he tweeted a tweet. Somebody tweeted back. A black person tweeted back. He thought he could tweet back. He thought it was still whatever year it was that he could tweet back. He could not tweet back, and it was bad. So that's when the tables turned. No more Justin Timberlake at the BET Awards, which was a loss back then because, now it's like, Gen Z, I think, is the first just like fully functioning, fully rhythmic black generation or white generation. That literally no one saw that coming. It's a very strange development. No one saw that coming. So all white people can dance now. Like, that's just what it is. Like, okay, that's like all of reality changing. I mean, when I was like, I'm still in the earth. I feel young. Do I look young? Okay. When I was a little kid, 12, 15, whatever, white people was clapping on 1 and 3, and that was never going to change. That was never going to change. It was never going to change. That's what life was. It was life was for my mom. It was life was for everybody. 1 and 3. That's what they heard. And then we crossed the bridge. We had to cross the bridge. And now it's just like, nope, that's all made up. It's all you imagined it all. White people have rhythm. They actually do. It's like, what? What? I'm not even old. Like, I can still walk around. That's something that shouldn't happen until you're old and there's chips and enhanced things that you can put in your brain and surgeries. No, it just TikTok. That was it. They just needed to watch YouTube at their house by themselves in the company of nobody else and just figure it out. Oh, okay. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but conversely, the little black kids is losing the rhythm. They're losing the rhythm because they're not being taught. I don't know. It's not no house parties anymore. I don't know. We're not it's not getting passed down. It's an interesting thing that I've been seeing a lot. My household is no different, but we don't do a lot of dancing around here anyways. So I don't know. Too much screen time. I don't know. It's weird. But it's funny. But anyway, so what was I talking about? Okay, yeah. So yeah, it was a loss, and people forget. People forget. They don't. People. I mean, forget amnesia. It's like just a lost, forgotten thing in time. Like, Justin Timberlake is one of these people that walked so that other people can run. I mean, when I see, I remember seeing that I don't remember which Jonas Brothers, whichever Jonas Brothers had that Jealous song that came out, which, if you ask me, it was 4 years ago, but I know it was longer. That millennial math. But I remember hearing it. This must have been a long time ago because I saw it on MTV. I remember it was MTV, and I turned and I heard it, and I was like, and I turned and looked, and I was like, who is that? And he was just singing what would have been considered black, when I was growing up, and was still pretty black at the time. What was it? It's probably about 2014, 2015. I don't know. Nobody cared. Nobody asked me any questions. Nobody asked where his black friend was. And people just take for granted how you just can do whatever type of music you want to do. And nobody asks you any questions, and you don't have any weird, annoying interviewers asking you about your Black origin story or anything like that. And part of that is because of Justin Timberlake and NSYNC, really, because when they came out, it was Backstreet Boys, whoever else, 98 Degrees, all these other people, and NSYNC was, they were not being like the other ones. They were doing, um, they was running and they was doing a lot of R&B-ish things. And I mean, there's literally a song, like, don't just take my word for it. There's literally a song called Pop that came out. What is that song about? What's the song Pop about? Because it's their reaction, their response to a criticism. What's the criticism? They were getting so black. Everybody was like, okay, where are we going with this? Like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing? What are y'all, like, what is this? Like, what is it? People were nervous. The parents was nervous. They were like, what are we taking our kids to see? Like, what? Why is my kid like Usher now? Because you recommended, like, whoa. It was getting ethnic. And I know, but people can't even like picture this. It's really, really strange how fast everything went. You can't even see the progression anymore because it's just so fast. Like, it makes the 60s look like, I mean, that was a hard decade. It's like it's like Back to the Future. It's like, what, we didn't have flying cars. What are you talking about? What did you do without a hoverboard? It's like so weird. But yes, that's what it was. 1999. There was no need for you to be doing black stuff, doing R&B songs, having your song played on the black station. Yes. What's a black station? I know. What's radio? I know. But, that Gone was played on black radio stations. So it was confusing. The people were like, what are we doing? Who are we reaching out to? And I specifically remember, because, when the boy bands were coming out, I was 17, 18. And, the understanding was this was like for the demographic below me. So this was for, the young girls, the girls that are going to scream and yell and whatever. When you're 18 years old, the gap between 13 and 18 or 14 and 18 is like, I'm an elder statesman, okay? I know this music isn't for me. I can enjoy it or whatever. It's like, yeah, let the babies, have their boy bands. That's fine, whatever. And I remember when they went on 106 & Park, which for the young children, I mean, I can't even, it take forever to explain the context. But they went on basically a black TV show. They went on a black TV show with black teenagers for no reason. Like, there was no incentive for them to do this. They were humongous. There was no need for them to cater to this demographic. And I don't care what story that you want to tell me behind the scenes to diminish that moment, but that was like it literally made my jaw drop that they did that. Even now, you don't see that happening just for no reason. Like, there was absolutely no reason. They had millions upon millions and billions. I mean, it was like hot. They were hot. And they went on 106 & Park, and I just was like, wow. And that doesn't mean anything to anybody, but this is somebody who, when Michael Jackson was alive, Michael Jackson was impressed. And he spoke to Michael Jackson. He spoke to James Brown. Prince. Okay, so this is somebody who met Michael Jackson, Prince, and James Brown while they were here. And I don't expect y'all to know what that means. But just know that it means something. This isn't just some doofus who just glommed himself onto blackness. Like, even if that was true, and we like to bring up Elvis and all these people. Okay, well, Elvis put in some work. Okay, that wasn't no lazy thing that he did. That was Elvis still slaps. Like you watch some old clip of Elvis, you're like, oh my gosh, that dude was like, you can't, especially back then. I mean, that was definitely, that was like one in three generation for real. You can't pretend to get it in the frickin' in 1950. So he had a real talent, and he like genuine, and like I don't even know if people are still in the mood to evaluate talent like this anymore. Like people just like what they like, and who cares, whatever. And there's 100 more talented people in the grave, or 100 more talented people that nobody just like up and scream and shout about. It's like, which I'm tired of hearing too. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of really much more talented people. Okay, well, where's the hit record at? Where's the hit record at? Like, yes, there's tons more hundred singers that could sing the paint off the wall. Okay, where is your hit record, sir, ma'am? So it's actually pretty difficult. You can't just be the most talented person in the room. Where is your song that's going to get everybody obsessed? How can you be such a great singer and everything that you put out is boring and I'm sleeping and I can't remember it? So it's a little bit more than just you being more talented than everybody else. It's so why don't you have some humility about the process? So anyway, I'm supposed to be going to the movies, and I'm over here talking about freaking Justin Timberlake. So it's just annoying because could he have done some things better? Of course. But to see somebody get this treatment, and I'm like, okay, well, are we going to keep the same energy for actual predators that we befriended and beloved? No? Okay, we're just going to just reserve this, watching the downfall of this white dude because Janet Jackson, because he shaded Janet Jackson. Then they try to make this pattern and try to tell the story of this pattern of behavior, which is so forced and so, it's like, have you heard a real industry story? Because this sounds real forced. And I'm not saying like he probably did everything the best way. It's like Pharrell literally is just holding Khaleesi's money hostage. Like, what does he need her money for? What does he need her royalties and her earnings for? Like, she's just not getting paid. She's got songs. She's got like at least one song that's gonna be played forever. Okay, he produced it. Okay, well, give her cut. She don't even get a cut of what she did. That doesn't make any sense. Like, and he's just walking around like that's steal. That's actual like stealing, and you just took someone's all of their, that all that work that they did for you, and you're just taking it and just hoarding it because you're a golem. I don't know. So, but it's like, yeah, well, we find out in the book that he did embarrassing things, and then he told Brittany that he didn't want to have a baby with her. I don't know. Looks like a smart decision to me. No, I'm just kidding. Sort of. But I'm just saying, okay, I thought we were all about people getting rid of their kids for fame and stuff. Now we're not about that. Well, it wasn't her decision. Okay, but she did it. And then it's like, oh, she regrets it. Okay. She did something she did a decision that she regretted, and she was 20 years old. And maybe he regrets it too, but he ain't never gonna tell y'all about it. Why would he tell y'all about it? It's like, okay, but what does one mentally unstable girlfriend that you had in your 20s have to do with this whole situation? Like, Brittany is not no better. She's not stable. She's not stable. Okay, well, her family, yeah, okay, she comes from an unstable family of instability. And did he not want to be linked up with that forever? I don't know. I can see that. Whatever. Like all I'm saying is like there's 10 stories like this. So the people are just rolling around on the floor like it's like people like pretend like they like truth or they like everything being uncovered. No, they like it about specific people that they don't. They like this truth being uncovered about people that they don't like, so they can look at them in a different light. They don't want that to be done about anybody else that they enjoy. Um, and it's just sad and it's hypocritical, and people are gleeful about it. It's just annoying. It's just annoying that that this person is just being you know they're allowed to be roasted, so they're being roasted. People are allowing it to happen because they're like, yeah, no, he's fine. We don't care about, you can roast him, it's fine. And so now that's what it's just, watching somebody do that, watching people do that to somebody. It's just really obnoxious. And I don't know. It just there's no real winners and losers. And at the end of the day, I'm sure his life is fine. But it's just like, just to diminish his legacy because of some weird, um, misguided notion that has just gained momentum over time. And this whole idea that, JC is the better singer, it's just like, no. Like, first of all, they're both great. They're probably on par. But JC didn't have that material. Like, that stuff that he put up was trash. Talking about, oh, he was sabotaged, his label sabotaged. Really? Well, then they sabotaged him in the studio. He should have been like, why are you letting me sing this? It's terrible. Because everything he put out was trash. It was just trash. Simple explanation. It was garbage. I remember when it came out. It did not, it just went, whoop, and it fell to the ground because it was garbage. I don't know if he just thought he could just do anything. Maybe he doesn't, not everybody's got the ear, the taste, the whatever. Or you're just singing what people put in front of you. I don't know. So this isn't something easy that anybody can just do. Oh, this person just blew up with this song, because everybody pushed him on us. Like, yes, I remember the saturation, but y'all asked for that. And they pushed him, but even if they didn't, the stuff was fire. I don't think anybody really expected it to be like that. Hold on. Yeah. So, that Crimea River was nasty. And that was when, I was like, very anti, and I was like, no, 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 no. Well, that Crimea River came out. I was like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? Play it again. I don't like, people don't remember. He gave us so many moments. The entertainment was entertaining. Okay, that dude knows what he is doing. He is good at his job. When he came back after 7 years of being gone, and I was literally like scared for him. I was like clenched all in my body. I was like, bruh, 7 years is a long time to be gone, bro. I thought it was going to be embarrassing. I thought it was going to be like, oh. And the way that it was the opposite of that. And like, he literally, that's when I had to change my tune, because I was just like in awe. When that Suit and Tie came out, I was in awe. I was like, I had never heard anything about that like that before or since. Yes, Timberland is a lot of that, but Timberland works with a lot of people, okay? And it doesn't always come out just because Timberland is there. I was like, oh my gosh, to see somebody come back after being gone that long and to just make this thing. So this is what I'm saying, is that is a real artist. This is a real artist who's, Sexy Back was probably like one of the last sort of big, huge, international, like your mom, your grandma, your dad, everybody, your cat, everybody. It's like in the 90s, you had a lot of these like big, Vanilla Ice, like, I don't know why I keep bringing up white guys, but these big moments. MC Hammer is just like these big moments, cultural, like everybody knows this. It was like, that was like probably one of the last ones that have ever happened. And you might have stuff go viral on TikTok or whatever, but that's literally like your generation, the one below you. I'm talking about when your grandma's involved. And, even if your grandma got a tape deck, she got sex, she knows what Sexy Back is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in the whole scheme of things, or is this gonna matter? Does this matter? No. Are these people gonna make it to heaven? I don't know. Who even knows? All I know is y'all just sitting there doing somebody wrong. It's not even like, is it religious? Probably in some way, but it's just like, just watching somebody do somebody wrong and just like be like, yeah, no, but behind the scenes, and then you just try to make it just to justify, like, no, like, see, and then when Brittany puts a book out and it just like confirms your suspicions so that you can now feel your vitriol, which I don't even know if people even know that all of this is started from bitter black women, uh, Gen X black women who just feel like they have to ride for anybody that, and then anybody who disrespects. Which, there's something to be said for that. But can we get some actual complaints for actual child predators? Then that would make me feel better about it. It's like, he disrespected Prince's legacy. It's like, okay, well, this dude literally just systematically brought young girls to his house and destroyed their lives, like a machine, and the whole city helped him. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it happened. I'm not even talking about Diddy. Like, the Diddy is it's the new one, and even now it's just like the outrage is minimal. So I don't know. I'm supposed to go to the movies, and I'm just talking about nonsense, trying to get it out of my system. I don't even think it helped. Am I even going to post this? I don't know. It's ridiculous. All right. Well, y'all be blessed. Oh my gosh.